going on, guys? My name's Dylan. I'm with Phillips Run Drip and Bubble Company, and today we're going to be working on my Jeep. So I dropped the tank. It needed a fuel pump. I was just going to slap one in real quick, and in the process of dropping the tank, I realized I've got a bigger problem. And it's not fuel related or anything like that. The frame is rusted. So I got to get that took care of before it becomes a bigger problem, and I wind up having to put a frame under this Jeep. So these Jeeps are kind of notorious for that, because the way this goes down, and then they capped it off right here. It's like, it makes sense. They've got, you know, there's a couple holes here and there that's made to pick up whenever you've got, well, towing or anything like that. I don't know why they put them there, because Jeeps don't ever need towing. I mean, perfect. So, but what happens is there's another one here, and they just catch dirt, and it just builds up in here and builds up in here, and it has nowhere to go. So you get dirt and you get grime and you get just everything. So this is the passenger side, and it's just started. It hasn't went all the way through, but I'm going to cut this spot out about where the white line is, and I'm going to give you some tubing, and I'm going to fix that right. But the bad side is the driver's side. So somebody at some point has put a piece of this channel iron or angle iron in here and tried to make that work, and it wasn't done right. I'm sure they didn't coat the inside of the up in here to make sure everything's good. And so this side is, well, right there you can see the rocks coming out of it. Well, that's rust there. But we're gonna cut that out. I'm gonna cut it out. I'm debating on cutting behind the hole or cutting up here in the ceiling, but if I seal it up and there is trash, I have no chance. I will be drilling a couple holes in here at the low spot so that I can keep it washed out. And I'm gonna cavity wax the whole frame after I get the rust all took care of. So I'm gonna take a plasma cutter and, well, right there, that's good. I'm gonna take a plasma cutter and cut that spot out all the way across. That with a plasma cutter. I still got to clean up down here. I really couldn't get into it too well. I got most of it cut out. But if you'll look back in there, see all that piled up? Yeah, that shouldn't be there. That's the problem. But I hit that with a plasma cutter, and it didn't take just a second. And y'all, I can't recommend enough a plasma cutter. We bought this thing on Amazon. It's a Lotus. And it was cheap. It was a couple $100, and it works amazing. It took me a little bit to get used to, but I'm gonna come back in now. I'll hit it with a grinder. I'll clean all that up and smooth it up, and then we'll be going to the metal shop tomorrow and see if I can get some square tubing to fit in there and get this thing patched up. So let's, I'm gonna cut the other side out now. The passenger side gave me a little fit. As I was cutting it, it was blowing back, blowing all over me, just burning me. And I was like, what in the world? It was acting like it had a lot of metal back there. I was like, I might be messing up right here. But I pushed on through it, I made it cut, and then I figured out why. And let me show you something. It's gonna blow your mind. That is all dirt. And this was the good side. The other side is rusted slap out. So, yeah, I'm glad I decided to go ahead and do it, because I debated. I was like, you know what, it's probably not that bad. And let me tell you, that is 100% dirt right there. It is, I don't even know. Look, dirt, gravel. That right there turned to cement. I mean, how has this thing even got a frame left? Look, it's packed all the way up through there. There's one of them little briar kookaburra things. I mean, the whole, all the way back in there just as far as you can see. This is crazy. There it come. There come the cement out of the frame. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, That just blows my mind. So if you've got a Jeep, a 90s, a YJ, or any of them, and it don't have some kind of hole back here to be able to clean it out, I suggest you better get to figuring something out before you have to put a frame under your rig. I mean, look at that caked up in there. I'm glad I did cut this out. I don't know why it ain't just as bad as the other side. Sheesh. And I want you to keep in mind, this Jeep's never been mudded. I mean, it really has been took good care of. I know the whole history of the Jeep since, well, I was too young, but since I can remember, I know the history of this Jeep, but it's never been dropped in mud holes. It's been used as a bear hunting rig. They drove it on gravel roads. It was never put in mud holes. And then when I got it, I never put it in mud holes because it's too nice of a rig. And that's just over the years. So it's a 94, just years of driving. That's all that is. So imagine what one would look like if it had been put in a mud hole. I don't know. That's a crap design. It's like on the Toyotas, they rust on the front up here. This one, that's on the one, I mean, I don't know. It just blows my mind how bad that is. Sorry, Moonshine. Dog laying right at my feet here. I've got the frame mostly cleaned out. It's a lot of that's one frame rail. That's one side. That ain't the other side. The other side didn't have hardly anything. It was just caked in there. I ain't never seen like in my life. And so while I was cleaning, I found the drain holes, which is this and this. Tell me how much sense this makes. I'm gonna keep my finger on the drain hole. You've got a good inch from down here to up here where the drain's at. So you've got an inch of stuff that can set up in this frame that goes all the way back and it ends about right here. If you used to draw a straight line where the drain is at all the way back. So I don't know what they was thinking. Why not put a big hole here? Yeah, it's gonna catch stuff, but it's also gonna make it easier to blow out. So you can take a pressure washer, put the pressure washer in here, it'd flood the frame, blow all that stuff out, and it'd run out this hole. Instead of giving you a good inch from here to here of stuff that can just build up. So I'm gonna have to they make a formula you can put on there. It's rust dissolver. You can spray it on the inside of this and it's supposed to eat it up. And I've had some good luck with it on some floorboards, on some other stuff. And so I've got it cleaned up. There's not a whole lot of buildup left in there. Best I can. I need to get a wire brush or something that's on a spindle that I can run up in there. But I'm gonna spray that rust dissolver to it and let that sit overnight and come back tomorrow, and then I'll clean it up, and then I'll get in there with some wax, cavity wax or something, spray plumb up in here and see what I can do with it from there. So yeah, I'm glad I cut this out, because it was just a little bitty hole on this bottom. It wasn't nothing like the driver's side. This blows my mind. Cut and fabricated and bent and grinded and moved and twisted and finally worked everything around. Well, I've got a solid piece. Caps up in there real good, flush on both sides. So now I'm gonna take and put it in there with a pair of pliers or a C-clamp or something to hold it in spot, and I'm gonna start welding. So just about got this side handled, and then we'll take care of doing the inner fender inside there, do some cavity wax or something to stop what rust is in there now and prevent it from the future. So we're getting closer. driver's side is done. I just got done spraying some undercoating on it, so that way it's sealed up real good. 3M makes a pretty good product that it's got a rust preventative in it, so I'm gonna let that dry. When that dries, I'm gonna come back and I've got a chemical I'm gonna spray inside the frame that'll stop any rust that's still in there, and it'll prevent it from happening in the future. So they're gonna start on the passenger side. It shouldn't be as bad. It's just a little square piece, so I'm gonna square it up a little bit more, so I ain't got to do so much fine-tune twisting and turning. That other side, it was a lot to it, but when I got it done, it's perfect. I mean, you can't even tell it was done. I left on the back here, I left another drain hole I put right in there. That way it drains a little bit. I'm probably gonna come back with a drill or something to make that a little bigger, so that way it drains even better, so I don't have this in the future. But well, I got that fixed. Let's start on the other side. Frame rails are done, so I've got both sides put in. I sprayed them with a 3M product. It's supposed to keep the rust down. It's on the outside, and then I went on the inside. I used like a cavity wax sprayed in there. It's supposed to keep the rust from, neutralize what rust is there, and then keep any more rust from going. So I've got the whole frame. I went all the way up, down, back and forth, and sprayed it all down to try to keep from having issues in the future. Got all that done. I need one more can of 3M. I bought 2, needed 3. Ain't that how that works? So get the fuel tank put back in, and that's how this whole process started. Needed a fuel pump, dropped the fuel pump, realized I could see through the frame on that side. So I'll get the tank put back in, this thing back going, and hopefully I'll be ready to go. So that's where we're at. I appreciate y'all watching.